Options. I'm a lease option guy.
So what do you think about doing a longer term lease option, like 4 years, just so I can up the purchase price a little longer and take advantage of, the balloon payment that I have?
Well, what if, yeah, well, you could, but they have the option to buy it within the 4 years, right?
Right.
The thing is, you just got to fit. Right now, my opinion is you got a tight deal here. The market corrects, then you're going to be holding this house for a lot closer to that 10-year mark, and you got a pretty big note. I mean, there's all kinds of different things, that you got to do, and it needs repairs. So, man, if you could get into this thing in 2 years from now, at the end of the day, you learned a lot. You made option deposit. You didn't have to put your own money into the house, and you made money at the end. I would call that a win.
Gotcha. Yeah, because I'm already like into this thing. My down payment was 20,000, and I pay closing costs.
So you find someone to come in here with $40,000, right, to buy this thing.
Would getting such a huge option fee, how would the court take that though? Because I've heard like anything above like 5%, it starts to get into the gray area where it can be like a down payment instead of an option fee.
No, not if you word it right. You gotta talk to people there's courses out. Wendy Patton is the queen of lease options. I know she has some training on it. You could always I'm gonna write Wendy Patton. She's big time. She's local.
Right. I'm actually closing at her title company, Legacy, with Aaron.
All right, great. Yeah, Aaron's a great dude. Yeah. You should talk to Aaron and find out just who could help you with the structure of a lease option, and maybe you could pay someone $100 to sit down with you and structure it right. It'll be well worth it.
Right. Okay.
Yep.
Cool.
All right, guys, and gals, we got 15 minutes. What else we got? What else is burning questions you might have? Are you guys struggling with any pitching? When you're calling customers, what do you say, or what don't you say? Or if you have a VA, I was talking to Kevin Brooks here today. He's at my office, and he has a VA. It sounds like she's doing a really good job, but I think you got to, every morning you got to talk to your VA. You got to record them. You got to listen to them, and you got to train them up. All right. One thing you got to teach them how to do, and I promise you, if you don't tell them, they'll send you 10, 20 leads, and not one of them will have a price that the seller wants. Okay. But if you make an incentive and say, look, if you get me the price from the seller, and you got to show them how to do it, you got to ask them three times or 4 times in the same phone conversation, how much are you looking for, or what would you consider? But you got to do it in 4 or 5 different ways. Okay. And it'll take them a while. I mean, once someone says, well, you better not come back with no low ball offer and this and that, and I want only serious. And then all you gotta do is say, I understand, that makes total sense. What kind of price is a serious price that you're thinking of? I'll see if I could come up to that price. So you're always trying to get it. Well, I'm not gonna tell you and say, okay, well, if we pay all the closing costs, no commissions, we close as fast as you like, and you just keep asking them, after you ask other questions and things like that. But if you give them a incentive and say, look, if you give me today, every lead you give me a price that they say, and of course you're recording it, and you'll give them an extra $1 an hour for that day, or $20 that day, whatever. You'll see they'll do it. They'll get it done. So that's human nature there, you know. So, but anyways, I think that's really important, you know. Them doing, I don't think, and eventually they're going to be the head lead manager for you if they're good enough, that they want the promotion, and they're going to be making appointments for you. Not, you know, right now, as if I was training a VA, I just wanted to get people that are interested, and then I call them back. But a lot of these big timers out here doing wholesaling, their VAs are making appointments. Their VAs are getting deals over the phone. Okay, so that's a different level. We're always striving to get to these different levels once we figure it out. So,
Where do you recruit your VAs at?
there's a few different places. Who has a VA online? Where do they get them from?
Start virtual.
Star Virtual.
Startvirtual.com.
All right, startvirtual.com is one. Startvirtual.com. Upward, Upwork. Yep. Hey, Steve. What's up, Steve Lundell? And I used SVP Virtual, I think they're called. I used them before. I got a great transaction coordinator from them. And I had a couple of VAs that were really good, but I don't use them because I didn't have time to train them right. So it was a waste of money for me. It was my fault. So I will use them again, but just right now I'm not. But yeah, so that's it on that. Hey, Steve, what's going on, buddy?
What's up, man?
Not much, not much.
Saw your
Thanks for
call too. I
joining.
was like, thought I'd jump on.
Appreciate it. How's
I
business? How's
real
business
good.
with you? I know you
Good.
have that nice Fenton deal.
Yeah, that's sold.
Yeah.
Got all the people and the Michigan, the Metro Detroit group, little bantering back and forth from people that are saying it's priced too high and this and that, and
I heard it. I seen it.
it's sold. I know what I'm doing. I've only been doing this for like 10 years, so.
Right.
And this market's crazy, so obviously I'm gonna push the price as much as I can. My job's to make as much as I can, and
Right.
still leave money on the table for them. But if it's not a deal, it's not a deal. I gotta adjust my pricing. But I've gotten pretty good at pricing my deals to where I know kind of that sweet spot of maximizing my profit and still allowing them to make a hefty profit too. I just did a JV deal with someone, and the rehabber is probably going to make 6 figures or pretty close to it. And we made 63,000 on the wholesale deal. We
Nice.
just closed that last week or last month. So, I mean, it was a super easy deal too. And I'm still going to make more from it, from all the stuff that was left in the house that we're going to be like auctioning off and stuff like that, because there was a crap load of personal items that they wanted to leave.
Nice.
But so, yeah, I mean, I'm doing less deals, but they're big. The average is like 22,000 a deal. So
Nice.
good.
What that big deal you just got? What city?
That was in shit, where was that? Let me look. It was on a lake. So I want to say Waterford, but I don't think it was Waterford. It was somewhere there.
Like Kego Harbor, Waterford, something like that.
Yeah, it was like Commerce, I think.
Okay.
Commerce. Yeah, it was Commerce Township. Yep.
Awesome. Awesome. Cool. Cool. Yeah.
Just sent it out to like 2 people. I sent it out to the main buyer I sell to, which is a fund, and he doesn't buy on waterfront. So then I sent it to 2 other people.
I know
They
who
both
bought it.
wanted it.
I know who bought it.
Yeah.
That's my
Yeah.
my buddy. Yeah.
Yeah, Brian, and he's awesome. And we as always we do the I negotiate on the price of the house, and he said I was asking, I don't remember, I think I was asking 290, and he offered me 295 to get the deal done. The other guy was like, the other guy was there and he left and Brian was still there. And he's like, what's it gonna take to get this done? And I'm like, make me the offer. He goes, well, 295, get it done. I said, yeah, sure. Or 298, because I think I was asking 295. That's where
Right.
the extra 3 grand came from. And I probably could have got more if I would have gone with the other guy or like pitted them against each other.
Yeah.
Dude,
But when
you're
you
making,
do, when you're working with your good buyers and
yeah.
you're making 63,000.
And they're both good buyers, but
Oh.
still, it's like you're making $63,000. Like
Yeah, yeah,
that's more than I ever made in a real job for an entire year. You know what I mean?
right,
My share, my 50% of that deal was almost as much as the most because I think I made 38,000 in my last like real job in a
Right.
year. That was 2006, but still, or 2008.
right.
But it's
Yeah.
like, it's stupid.
Yeah,
So
that's,
don't be greedy, just get it done. And
yeah, that's the one thing that I like. I'm showing a house in Hazel Park probably next week. I think Tuesday, and I got probably 10 people that want to see it. All of them I love. I like all the guys. Well, I don't love them. I like them all. They're decent people. So I'm gonna make. I'm just gonna ask. Say, look, this is what I'm asking. I want the highest and best tomorrow by 12 noon, and then I'm gonna cut it off because I'm not gonna say, look, because I'm gonna have guys calling me and say, what do I need to get this done? Well,
yeah,
so I'm just gonna, I know I'm gonna get over asking,
yeah,
and I'm happy because usually when I price it, if I get asking, I'm happy anyway.
yeah,
But
me
I'm
too.
get over asking, and we'll
Yep.
call it a day. And I try to keep, try to keep, I guess, save face with all of them. As
Yep.
if it works, great with them. If not, that's the one thing with Brian. I remember I had a deal. He's one of my first calls because I am a fan of picking up the phone and calling one or two guys
Yep.
to get the deal done, right? Where I don't have to pitch it out and things like that. Just call them, say, I got this deal. Are you interested? They say
Yep.
yes. And anyways, called Brian and he went out and looked at a deal. I can't remember if it was like 70 grand. And he says, will you take 65, right? I
Right.
said, well, I just told him, I said, Brian, you're first on my list. Let me call a couple more people because I think I could get 70. And, next time I have a deal, you're going to be probably third or fourth on my list. You're not going
Yeah.
to be first. But if you have to be at 65, it's all about numbers. I understand 100%. I'm not
Yep.
mad at you. And he came up to 70 real fast.
Yeah.
And
he's going to do this just like we want to make as much as we can. So do they. They
Yeah.
also have a lot more risk and cost and overhead and all that stuff to put in.
True.
And so they gotta be aware of that and focus on that and
Right.
to make an offer. I mean, if you said yes to 65, well, they just increased their spread by 5 grand. So
Yep. Yeah.
I don't hate them for doing it, but I kind of tell them the same thing. Like, you make it easy on me, I'm gonna make it easy on you.
Yep.
So, but
Yeah. But very
yeah,
trustworthy. And if they say they're going to do something, they do it. They close it.
100%. Yep.
I don't get an EMD from them guys.
I
I
don't
don't even
either.
worry about it.
Yep.
Until they screw me once with that, then I'll
Yep.
get EMDs, right?
And I understand they've got like 17 houses that they're flipping right now. So
Right.
having to put 5 grand or 2,500 down on every house you buy, it starts to eat into your operating capital. And I totally get it. So, and they're extremely trustworthy. I've never had them not close a deal and not close it quickly. They
Right.
close
They're
within a
ready
week or
to
2
go.
weeks or whatever, whenever you're ready. So,
Yep. Yep.
I
Yep.
mean, I close everything pretty fast unless there's something on the seller's end that we can't,
Right.
Hey, Steve, I got a question. How did you get that deal?
There's a probate. It was a
Probate?
referral. So I do JV partner deals with people. They do the marketing and I go out and do the appointment. I take the pictures, I inspect the house, I kind of do the rehab estimate. I get it under contract. I sell it to my buyers. My team handles all the closing coordination. And then we split the profit 50-50. So that particular partner does pretty much exclusively probates. So, most of the deals I do, especially the big ones like that, are gonna be probate, inherited. Those people are the most motivated typically. You still get a lot of people that want to list and get the best price, but they're usually the most dated houses, but still well maintained. A lot of times there's personal items they don't want to remove. And
Yep.
so you can, an agent's gonna make them clean all that stuff out and to get it listed and stuff like that. So, it's also one of the most competitive, marketing niches there is, but it's one of the most competitive because it's one of the best. You get the best deals there. They're fewer and farther in between. I think,
Bigger deals.
we closed that one June 3rd, and then the one before that was March. So, and those were both probates from this one particular guy.
Right.
So, but then before that, it was another one in March and then one in January and late December. So, and they're all, like I said, the average is 22,000 per deal. Obviously the 63 brings that up a little bit, but
Right.
I've only had one deal under 10 grand in the last this entire year. We haven't closed one deal that was less than 10. Oh no, we did one in January that was a lower end deal, 6650.
Yes.
I had another one that was 6,500.
Are you primarily Metro Detroit?
Yeah,
do you go
Metro
into
Detroit. I live in Lapeer though, so I do Lapeer, Genesee. I've got one JV partner where we're gonna start marketing to like Saginaw, Bay City, Midland. I'll go anywhere that's within an hour and a half of me. So that's mostly down Metro Detroit area, up here in Lapeer, Genesee. Like I got an appointment in Flint coming up.
I just had I was on a call, a lead about one property, and then turns out the owner, her father passed. She has they have a property. He has a property in Bay City,
Oh,
actually, and she's trying to go through the whole probate process. So
Yep.
I kind of enlisted, told her that if she needs help or whatever, I offer up my service, even if she ends up putting it on the market, I'd be happy to just talk with her, walk her through whatever I need, whatever I can help out with. And I told her, I said, even if I can't help you, I can connect you with people who can. So and that's up in Bay City. So I might reach out to you if you,
sure.
Yeah, hey, Randy, put your information in the chat.
Yeah, I'll do
Put
that
mine
right
in
now.
there too.
Steve,
So
you do the
people can
same.
email me if you need to.
Yeah, if you guys don't know Steve Landau, man, he's been doing this for, like he said, 10 plus years, and he's a killer wholesaler. I think, Steve, you correct me if I'm wrong. I know you probably it just sounds like your business is different than it was. You're making more on your wholesale fees, so you're probably doing less deals, but you probably have a family life now.
Yeah, I have more time. Absolutely.
Yeah, you're doing things differently. You probably have multiple streams of income,
Yeah.
And you're still probably grinding, but it's totally different,
Yeah, it's definitely different. I let a lot of the people, so what I kind of one of the problems was I kept trying to hire an acquisitions manager, right?
Yeah,
And I'd have guys come and go. Some would come and grow under me and then go off and do their own thing, like Dave
yeah,
and Jeremy. And then others would just come and they wouldn't work out, or they just didn't have the work ethic I wanted, or, it's just like any other job and employer. You need to kind of run through it and find people that fit. But I found that my strength, my biggest superpower was going and getting the deals. When I would go on the appointments, I would get a higher percentage than they would, which is it's kind of obvious. I've been doing this a long time, and they were being trained to do it. But I was also getting them for better prices. I was selling them for higher prices.
right.
And so if I
Can't
just focus,
You can't teach that, right? It's
you
hard.
can't. It's really hard, and you can teach it. And there's John Martinez out there that trains you on sales, and there's other sales courses and all that kind of stuff. But it's more than that. You can't learn it from a course. You need to just kind of do it and grow in it, and it takes years to get to that level. So I finally decided, especially working with Dennis so much, was like, all right, all he wants to do is market. He just wants to do the marketing, and he's going to assign someone to go out to the deal, me or someone else down in the Metro Detroit area, wherever the house is, whatever.
I've done deals with him before, yeah.
Yeah. So, and he's easy to work with, great to work with. And so I do a lot of deals with him, but I know he's got a lot of other partners too. And so deals would come and they would go. It'd be like somewhat inconsistent. I don't know if it's his marketing, because marketing can be inconsistent too. One month you might get a ton of calls.
Yeah.
One month you might get hardly any. And so I didn't want to just count on just him. I would start marketing myself and I'd spend a whole bunch of money and not get very much back. So I'm like, you know what? Let me rethink this. That's why I posted in the Metro Detroit group about looking for more JV partners. I wanted more of those relationships. So I've got one. I also had the license for We Buy Houses for Macomb County for a minute. I didn't get anything from it except I made some really good relationships. So I turned those relationships into partnerships with them. Anything they don't want to buy for themselves, they send to me. I go out on the appointment, lock it up, and we do the deal that way. I've got, a fund that buys most everything I have. If it's not on the water, or if it's not like backing up to commercial, they buy pretty much anything that's a
Right.
rental or flippable house, and they
Nice.
pay a really good price. So he lost out on a few deals to me first by offering under asking, just kind of like what you're saying about Brian earlier.
Yeah.
And then he learned, I'm like, look, if you take it at my asking, I don't need to go anywhere else. I would rather send it to you and close it and be done with it. So we've done 7 of the 10 deals that I had closed before the last couple. 7 of the 10 prior were all with him. I don't even send it out to my list. The people on my list probably think I'm not doing anything.
Right.
Well, no, I am. I'm just calling one guy or sending a text to him and he buys it. So,
Yep.
but anyway, making those relationships and then doing the partnerships, I realized my superpower was being in the house with the tenants. And then last year, COVID happened and I closed up my office because I had an office downtown Pontiac.
No,
I was
yeah.
trying to build a bigger team and have like Ron, and have a team with like several admin employees and acquisitions people and dispositions people. And COVID happened right before that. In January, I had decided to just let me focus on being the acquisitions and the dispositions guy. If I need to hire somebody to do dispositions, that's easy enough.
Yeah.
But then COVID hit. I shut down the office, and we've just been working virtually since then. But
Yeah.
yeah, definitely a much better lifestyle. I'm home way more. I'm at home right now. I'm out in my pole barn. I got a little office out here along with a cannabis business out here. So I'm sitting up out here right now. And but I can spend time at home, do stuff with the kids more. They're all homeschooled, so they're home a lot more too. So
Yeah. Well, it seems
Um,
like you said, I know you did. It seems like now you just get the leads. You don't have to worry about marketing, getting the leads in and doing all that stuff, spending all the money. All you got to do is, and just network, you're networking,
Yep.
JVing with people. And I'm sure if you wanted to grab a list and make phone calls on when things got a little slow, that
Yeah.
don't cost anything, right?
Yeah, I have lists and we do texting. We do some texting, but I don't do cold calling yet. I thought about hiring a cold caller to do it. Because we could do that. I don't want to do that. I definitely don't want to do that.
You
But
don't like that? I love it.
yeah, I hate it.
Yeah.
So I can definitely hire someone to do that.
Yeah.
But I like for the longest time, I didn't want to do those JV deals. I felt like I was giving up too much of the deal.
No,
They're
50-50.
just providing me the lead and I'm giving up 50% of it. Well, they're providing the hardest part to get. In this market, the hardest part to get is the lead. And they're pre-screened, especially like Dennis. He will pre-screen them and only send me people that are solid, like are ready to go, or at least close enough. So for me, it's like, okay,
Yeah.
it's not giving up, it's getting 50% of the deal that I wouldn't have
You
already
never had
had.
it anyway, right?
Yeah.
I look at
So,
it took me a while to get through that too. And then I was trying to say, okay, I'll pay you 30% or 20%. And I
Yep.
finally said, forget it. I couldn't even remember what I told people. So
Yeah.
I said 50-50,
Yep.
no matter if you give me the deal's under contract or this or that. And I can tell you what really sealed the deal in March of this year. I closed, my best month was 19 deals in a month. I do a lot of smaller deals. I'm not, some are big, one or two might be big and the rest are small. I did 19 deals. 18 out of the 19 were JV with other people.
Yeah.
And I made $103,000. And the other 7 wholesalers combined made 123,000.
Oh, nice.
So, I mean, that,
It's a 6-figure month that you had zero, very small amount of marketing out for.
zero,
you know?
really, yeah, zero marketing, and I'm helping them, they're helping me.
Yep.
And, it was a fluke month. That's a lot of deals. I do want to get, I like doing smaller deals. Eventually I might graduate and do bigger deals. You know what I mean? But right now, smaller deals are good. As long as
I got away from that. I used to do I used to be happy with 2,500, 3, 4, 5 grand in it was either 2015 or 2016 when Jeremy Burgess was still working for me. We kind of talked about it. We're like, man, we're doing all this work and we're just making 5, 6 grand a deal. We're settling for this much. Why don't we push that and see what we can push it for? The market still wasn't great. It was still being okay. But it's okay, let's try to get that number up. And the very next year it was up to 10 grand. And then it went up to 12 or 14. And then it was 15 or 16. And like I said, now I think last year it was 18 and this year it's 22. We're obviously doing a lot less deals, but still the average is higher. The annual deals is, we're closing less deals per year, but for the same amount or more cash. here's an example. 2017, we closed 51 deals for 476,000. 2018, we closed 20 deals for 506,000. It's and then 2020, we had our best month ever in January of 2020. We did 130 something thousand.
Right.
And,
Awesome.
and then January of 2021, we did the same thing. We did over 100,000. So it's,
and just what I was telling everyone earlier about KPIs, and I showed them, you see how fast Steve went and he keeps track of his numbers.
yeah, you have to.
Told you what he made. I can't do that. I'm working on it and I'm getting there, but I think that is to become successful, to become great, you gotta track your numbers. And I know that because the last few years I haven't, right? And so it's just, growing and learning and everything else. That's how, it seems, it's that important in my opinion.
Hey, Steve.
Yeah, go ahead.
How do you find you said you have a guy that has a fund. How do you find those types of guys?
He found me actually. And
Okay.
what's funny is I almost didn't even call him back because over the years, how many times I've gotten those emails or those phone calls, oh, we buy 20 houses a month and blah, 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 blah. And it was always bullshit. Every single time it was bullshit. So
okay.
I almost didn't call the guy back, but I did. And he's been great. He's around and he reaches out to people. He was here in town. Todd probably knows him. Ray. Do you know Ray? Yeah.
I'm selling him a couple of deals. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So he's buying in Detroit now. So
yeah,
which is something I was like, oh, okay, that's good to know. I haven't done very much in Detroit lately. Whereas I was looking through all my old stuff, it was all Detroit. Todd, it was almost exclusively Detroit. And then I started getting a little bit away from it, and now it's almost exclusively everywhere but Detroit. But it's not because I won't do it. It's just because
that's where the deals are.
Most of the leads I get have been shit from there. And I don't have a ton of Detroit buyers anymore. I've got a few that would buy there, but I don't have a lot of those lower cost, lower end. And I make really aggressive offers in Detroit too.
Yeah.
I might still be stuck in 2017, 2018.
Right. Yeah, you wouldn't believe the numbers now. I'm telling you.
I still look at comps and I still base everything on comps, but
yeah.
not
You got
about,
such a huge range there. It's crazy.
you know,
Yeah, the Detroit's block by block. It doesn't matter really what people, I don't even, the MLS just tells you a few things, but
Yeah.
it's ROI, it's what you know, who you know that will pay what and things like
Mhm.
that, you know.
it's about who knows you, Mike.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the last thing before we wrap this up, the one thing you said about disposition, Steve, I tried to hire a disposition manager at one time. I just don't, I could not, just like you said about you going on deals and you just know, and you can lock them up at a certain price, a better price and everything else. And it's hard to train them. It's hard to train that disposition guy.